Well, in 1981, I was convicted of rape. I served 20 years in prison for it. When I was released from prison, I subsequently moved here to Pennsylvania.
How did you come to meet Tom?
I was referred to Tom through Mary Clary, actually. Mary Clary, one of the counselors at the Lancaster County Prison, suggested that I give him a call. So I did. We arranged a meeting downtown, spoke for several hours, and then agreed to speak some more, talked on the phone several times, met again. Over the course of those conversations, he filled me in on his vision, and I thought it was exactly what I wanted.
Tom had told me a little bit about what happened in 1981. How is this? You served in prison for 20 years for that crime. How, what is your memory of it? I mean, do you regret that every day? I mean, what's...
Well, I don't live in regret. I don't live in remorse. I've made my peace with my regrets and my remorse. I've made peace with my God. I'm forgiven of the things that I've done. The Bible instructs me to move on, and so to walk in a new walk and to live a new life, and that's what I do. And so, no, I don't live in regret for it. I've made peace with that. From a personal perspective, although I realize that I have to meet expectations of society and still go down channels that they insist that I walk, so I respect that and do that.
How do you feel about the negative response to this?
It's unfortunate that people can just get locked into their fears or locked into their judgments. I'm encouraged by the fact that the negative response is so minute that, in fact, the overwhelming majority of response is supportive and encouraging. So I am encouraged by that. I believe people have a right to express themselves. And if what those people outside today choose to express is what I deem as fear and judgment and rejection, then they're entitled to do that. And I don't put them down for it. I support what they're doing. They have a right to do that. It would be encouraging to me that if everyone would recognize, some of the various rights that I have. But, whether they recognize them or whether they don't, I will continue to walk in my rights and enjoy them.
Tell me about yourself, Richard. What do you like to do?
What do I like to do?
Yeah, do you have any hobbies?
I play chess. I fish. I play with my dog. I like to read the Bible. I like to encourage people in the Lord. I like to find people who have an ear for the truth and that can, once they actually recognize that what the Bible says is true, I like to watch the hunger growing. I like to participate in directing people toward change. I like to
You want to hop on the mat?
yeah. I don't necessarily like the fact that it's been me that's been thrown into the limelight necessarily. I'm more of a private person. But I do recognize the dire need for change in the system. A system that is now, even as we speak, locking men up simply because they have nowhere to live. That's locking the homeless in jail. That's jailing the homeless is what it amounts to. And I see the need there. I spent a year in LCP because I had nowhere to live. For no other reason. I was free to go. But you have a system that demands approved housing but provides no means whatsoever for attaining it. So, and I wasn't the only one. And so I do see the need there. And as I sat for that year in the county jail for no other reason than I lacked approved housing, I determined and I prayed that when I get out, if in fact I can participate in some form of change, or at least to let the world know or the public know that there is a dire problem. We're talking about the United States of America. You know, whatever happened to paying your debt? You know, whatever happened to that? Being restored to your life? Whatever happened to that? You know. So, you know, I believe in those things, and there's a need.
Of a role has religion and God played in this?
In this being
just this whole experience. Here, at least with Tom, or you know,
well,
gotten out of jail.
I've dallied with the Bible since 1976. While I recognize the truth of the Word, God didn't necessarily play an important role in my life because I wasn't living a transformed life. I understood the truth from the neck up, but I didn't necessarily walk a changed life. And so one of the advantages that I've had in the last 3 years is an opportunity to confront myself about having a head full of knowledge but not walking a transformed life. Since then, including the year I spent in jail, God has played His role as I surrender myself to His will. It's not a question of importance. It's a question of centeredness. God is the center of my life. All right. So you can't measure that in terms of importance. You know, it's His will, and that's it. You know, it doesn't have to be easy, and this is not easy. This is not easy to have people. You know, it's not easy to be in front of cameras. It's not easy. You know, but it is His will, and His will is to change the system so that people who want to change, who desire a faith-based life, have somewhere to go. The system offers nothing. The system offers nothing. And so what kind of a system is that spends millions of dollars? See, it's pandering, in my opinion. What the system does is pander to the fear-based public. That's how legislators get elected. We're going to get tough on crime. You elect me and you're not going to have to worry about this stuff. And so they do get elected. And then they do get tough on crime laws. And so the prisons go from 4 to 27. The population goes from small to overflowing. And so millions of dollars are being spent in the door, but very little is being spent out the door. And
95% of prisoners come home. 95%.
You know, and to me, that's the problem. And so then when you have a man like Tom Armstrong who steps up and says, well, I will provide a transitional house and I will invite sex offenders. It's not exclusively for sex offenders, but I will include them. Then, you know, you have people on the one hand screaming for solutions and then on the other hand wanting to shoot the solutions down when they get here. So, you know, that, you know, God plays an important role whether you consider it important or not. And now they've transferred this Wednesday hearing from the small official room to the big community house where they can pack it with these fearful, you know. And that's not serving the interests of the public. That's certainly not serving the interests of the community. What serves the interests of the community is to assuage these fears and let them know that there is a system in place. There is parole, there is probation, there is monitoring. Megan's Law has been deemed to be sufficient by the New Jersey courts most recently. That this zoning out sex offenders is unconstitutional. Craig Stedman himself said there is no law in the Pennsylvania books anywhere that says that you can exclude anyone from living anywhere. I can live anywhere I want. And I don't have to notify anyone. If the world, they say you got to live somewhere. But when they say, well, we don't want you here, when somewhere becomes nowhere, you know, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Yeah. And so if what comes out of this is a recognition of the flaws in the system, if you stop and think about it, the vast majority of the programs that are in place to deal with outcoming offenders are Christian-based, community-based. They're not system-based. If the community doesn't step up and do something, nothing gets done because the system isn't designed to do that. It's designed to lock you up and throw away the key or lock you up and not worry about the problems later. But when the problems come later and you demand for solutions and then people step up with solutions and then that's not good enough, no, we want to shoot that down. Well, if you shoot Tom's program down, then what do you get? What do you get?